You may have been guided here for a reason. Something in your spirit may have been asking for clarity, because lately, it may have felt like the pressure has been building. The delays may have felt heavier. The resistance may have felt more personal. And even if you have been trying to stay strong, there may still be a part of you wondering why this season has felt so difficult. I'm picking up that this message is arriving to meet you in that space, not to frighten you, but to gently help you understand what has been unfolding beneath the surface. And if this reading resonates with you, you can support this space with a small exchange of energy through a like, a subscribe, or simply by staying present with the message. Now, let us begin with the first card, the old spiritual battle. The past wound or karmic pattern that created the struggle you are facing now. I'm seeing here the Ace of Pentacles reversed, and right away, this energy feels connected to missed safety, missed stability, missed grounding. It feels like, at some point in your past, something that was meant to help you feel secure did not fully arrive in the way you needed. This could have been love that felt uncertain, support that disappeared, an opportunity that slipped away, or a foundation that never became steady enough for you to relax. I'm getting the feeling that this wound taught you to expect instability, even when your heart was hoping for peace. It taught you to hold your breath, to question what is being offered, to wonder if something good will stay. And over time, that pattern may have become deeply spiritual, not just emotional, because when life keeps showing you inconsistency, you can begin to feel that the universe itself is testing you. The energy around this card suggests that the battle did not begin with the current moment. It began when your spirit first learned to associate blessing with loss, hope with disappointment, desire with delay. And that creates a very quiet kind of struggle. A struggle where you may keep trying, but part of you is still bracing for things to fall apart. I'm also picking up that this pattern may have made it harder for you to fully receive. Not because you are blocked by nature, but because your soul has been protecting itself. You may be entering a phase now where this old wound is finally coming to the surface so it can be seen clearly, so it can be released gently, because your breakthrough cannot fully enter while your spirit is still preparing for abandonment. This first card is showing where the fear first took root. And as we move forward, we are going deeper into what has kept that pattern alive. So let us look now at the next card, because the story is only beginning to unfold. And now the second card is revealing itself. I'm seeing here the Two of Pentacles. And this energy feels very connected to the belief that you always have to keep everything together by yourself. I'm picking up that the limiting story here is not always loud. It can sound very practical, very normal, very familiar. It says, maybe you cannot fully rest yet. Maybe you have to keep adjusting, keep managing, keep surviving, keep proving that you can handle the pressure. The energy around this card suggests that the doubt working against you comes through instability. Not always outer instability, but inner instability. A feeling that peace is temporary. A feeling that if you stop juggling for even a moment, something will fall apart. And this connects so deeply to the first card, because when your spirit has known disappointment, it can begin to believe that safety must be earned through constant effort, that if you are not monitoring everything, you may lose what matters. I'm getting the feeling that this is the exact place where your power has been quietly draining, not because you are weak, but because your energy has been tied up in managing uncertainty, trying to stay ahead of loss, trying to stay prepared for change, trying to keep your emotions balanced even when your soul is asking for stillness. There is also something here about self-trust. This card feels like a mind that has learned to split its attention. One part of you wants to move forward. One part of you keeps scanning for what could go wrong. And that inner division can make it harder to stand fully in your strength. It can make you question your timing, your decisions, even your worthiness to receive something steady. But I'm also seeing that awareness is beginning now. You are beginning to notice that this constant inner balancing act may not be your truth. It may be your protection pattern. And that is important, because once you can name the belief, you can begin to loosen its hold. So let us keep going gently, because the next card is ready to show what this pattern has been keeping you from fully facing. And now the third card is coming forward. I'm seeing here the Three of Pentacles reversed, and this feels like the resistance you are feeling right now is showing up in the area of support, recognition, and alignment. It feels like you may be trying to build something important in your life, but the energy around you has not been meeting you clearly. There may be effort, there may be intention, there may even be vision. But something still feels off, like the pieces are not coming together the way they should. I'm picking up that for some of you. This has been showing up through work, through purpose, through the feeling that what you bring is not being fully seen or fully valued for others. This may be happening in relationships or in spiritual connection. A feeling that you are trying to create something real, but the foundation keeps feeling uneven. The energy around this card suggests that the present struggle is not only about outer blockage, it is also about inner disconnection. Because when you have been carrying old disappointment, and when your mind has been trained to keep juggling, it becomes harder to trust collaboration, harder to trust timing, harder to believe that things can actually come together with ease. So the resistance may feel like delay, miscommunication, lack of support, or even moments where you question whether you are doing something wrong. But I'm getting the feeling that this card is not here to shame you. It is here to show you where the flow has been interrupted, where your energy may be trying to build from exhaustion instead of from true alignment. There is something very important here. This card feels like a mirror. It reflects the pain of not feeling fully met, not feeling fully understood, not feeling fully supported in what matters to you most. And that kind of resistance can make everything feel heavier. But it also reveals where healing is needed most, because you are not being shown this blockage to discourage you. You are being shown it so you can begin to see what must be strengthened within before the outer structure can hold more. Let that settle gently, because the next card is going deeper still. It is ready to show the fear beneath this resistance, and why it may have felt so strong lately. And now the fourth card is opening. I'm seeing here the Knight of Pentacles, and this is very interesting, because the fear being triggered here does not feel chaotic on the surface. It feels quiet, steady, deep. I'm picking up that the deepest fear this battle is trying to awaken is the fear that no matter how much effort you give, nothing will truly move. That you will keep showing up, keep trying, keep doing the right thing, and still remain in the same place. It feels like a fear of slow progress turning into no progress. A fear that your devotion may not be enough. A fear that your patience may be tested for too long. The energy around this card suggests that this fear was not created overnight. It may have been shaped through long seasons where you had to carry responsibility without immediate reward, where you had to be reliable, practical, strong, even when your heart was tired. And over time, that can create a very deep emotional habit. You begin to believe that life only responds through struggle, that movement only comes through hard labor, that rest may cost you momentum. So now, as your breakthrough begins getting closer, this old fear rises again. Not because you are failing, but because part of you has learned to trust effort more than ease, to trust discipline more than receiving, to trust survival more than expansion. I'm also getting the feeling that this battle may be pressing on Your fear of becoming stuck in a life that feels too small for your spirit. A life where you do everything right, but never feel fully alive inside it. And that fear can be heavy, because it touches your purpose, your value, your sense of direction. But this card also carries a gentle truth. The steady part of you is not the problem. Your loyalty is not the problem. Your willingness to keep going is not the problem. What is being healed is the belief that slowness means denial, that delayed movement means forgotten blessings. That is the fear now coming up, to be seen. And as tender as that is, it is important, because the next card is ready to reveal the truth your soul is being asked to accept now. And that truth may begin loosening this fear in a very powerful way. And now the fifth card is being revealed. I'm seeing here strength reversed. And this feels like a very important turning point. Because the truth your soul is being forced to face now is not that you are weak. It is that you have been carrying too much while trying to appear strong for too long. I'm picking up that something in you is no longer willing to keep surviving in silence, no longer willing to keep pushing through while your inner world feels exhausted. This card feels like the moment where the mask begins to slip gently, not in a harmful way, but in an honest way, a healing way. The energy around this card suggests that your soul is asking you to face how tired you have truly been. How much energy has gone into holding yourself together? How much effort has gone into controlling fear, controlling emotion, controlling disappointment, and controlling the urge to give up? And now that truth is rising, not to overwhelm you, but to free you. Because part of your awakening is realizing that real strength is not the same as constant endurance. Real strength is softer than that. Truer than that. It allows you to feel. It allows you to admit when something has hurt you. It allows you to stop measuring your worth by how much pressure you can withstand. I'm getting the feeling that this is what the PE has been trying to hide from you. The fact that your breakthrough does not require you to become harder. It may require you to become more honest, more open, more willing to stop carrying everything alone. There is also a conscious awareness building here. You may already be sensing that the old way is no longer sustainable, that forcing, controlling, and over-managing your emotions is not where your next chapter lives. Something is shifting. You are beginning to see that gentleness may be the doorway now. That self-trust may grow more quickly when you stop fighting your own feelings. This is a deep truth to face, and it changes the energy of the whole reading. Because once this truth is seen, something hidden inside you can begin to rise. So let us move gently to the next card, because it is ready to show the strength that has been there all along, even beneath the weariness. And now the sixth card is coming into view. I'm seeing here the Hermit reversed. And this feels like the hidden power awakening within you is the power of returning to yourself. Not the old version of yourself that learned to withdraw out of fear, but a deeper version, a wiser version, a version of you that is no longer willing to stay lost in darkness just because darkness once felt familiar. I'm picking up that this struggle has been building a quiet kind of strength. Not loud strength, not performative strength, but inner sight, the kind of sight that begins to notice what is draining you, what is distracting you, what is keeping you disconnected from your own truth. The energy around this card suggests that for a long time, you may have carried your pain inward. You may have gone silent with it. You may have tried to process everything alone. And while that solitude taught you a lot, it may also have made you feel separated from your own light, as if the answers were always just out of reach, as if clarity kept moving further away. But something is shifting now. You are beginning to come out of that hidden space. You are beginning to see that your wisdom was never absent. It was simply buried under exhaustion, buried under fear, buried under too much inner noise. I'm getting the feeling that this card is showing an awakening of discernment. You will soon notice what deserves your energy and what does not. You will soon notice where you have been abandoning yourself to keep other things afloat. And with that awareness, your power begins to gather. This is important, because the devil energy often works best when you doubt your own inner voice. When you keep searching outside yourself for permission, for certainty, for proof. But this card says your inner guidance is starting to come back online, slowly, gently, but very truly. And as that happens, you become harder to confuse, harder to pull away from your path. So stay open here, because the next card is ready to show what must now be released, so this awakening can keep growing. And now the 7th card is being shown. I'm seeing here the Wheel of Fortune reversed. And this feels very significant, because what the devil energy is trying to make you release is not only a person, or a situation, or a surface-level attachment. It feels deeper than that. I'm picking up that it is trying to break your attachment to the version of you that learned to expect painful cycles. The version of you that became familiar with setbacks, with delays, with almosts, with moments where things seemed close and then somehow moved away again. The energy around this card suggests that your inner world may be very aware of patterns right now. You may be noticing how certain struggles have repeated, how certain fears return just when you begin to feel hopeful, how certain emotions rise when life starts moving in a new direction. And that can feel exhausting, because it can make you wonder if the cycle is happening again, if the opening will close again, if the blessing will turn again. But I'm getting the feeling that this card is not saying you are cursed by repetition. It is saying you are becoming conscious of the cycle so you can stop identifying with it. That is a very different thing, because for a long time, part of your identity may have been formed around endurance, around recovering, around adapting to instability, around waiting for the next turn of disappointment. And now something in you is beginning to see that this old pattern is not your home anymore. It may still be echoing. It may still be trying to pull on your emotions. But it is no longer defining who you are becoming. This is why the pressure may feel so intense, because when a cycle is ending, it often tries to repeat itself one last time. Not because it is stronger than you, but because it is losing its hold. And your soul is beginning to feel that. You are beginning to sense that what once controlled your rhythm cannot go with you much further. So let that settle softly. Because the next card is ready to show the lesson hidden inside all of this. And that lesson may help you understand why this battle had to unfold the way it did. And now the 8th card is coming through. I'm seeing here the 5 of Cups. And this feels like the lesson of this spiritual war has a lot to do with grief. Not only obvious grief, but quiet grief. The kind that lingers in the body, the kind that changes how you expect life to meet you. I'm picking up that your soul has been learning how to stay open without denying what has hurt you. Because there may be outside energies around you that have reinforced disappointment. Situations that did not unfold the way they promised. People who could not meet you where you were. Moments that left you feeling as though something meaningful slipped away. And the energy around this card suggests that this was not meaningless. Painful, yes. Heavy, yes. But not meaningless. It feels like the lesson here is not simply to move on quickly and not to pretend nothing touched you. It is to learn how to grieve without building your home inside the loss. That is very different, because when the devil energy presses in, it often tries to keep your attention on what is gone, what failed, what did not stay, what did not become what you hoped. And when that happens, your spirit can begin to overlook what is still present, what is still sacred, what is still trying to reach you now. I'm getting the feeling that some of the surrounding energy has been asking you to revisit sadness so you can finally understand it, rather than keep carrying it unconsciously. There may also be people or environments around you that mirror old disappointment, not to punish you, but to show you where your heart still needs tenderness, where your faith still needs restoring. This card feels like a gentle but deep spiritual lesson. You are learning that loss can shape you without defining you, that sorrow can soften you without closing your future, that not everything left behind was meant to go where you are going. And as this becomes clearer, something inside you begins to lift. So stay with this message, because the next card is ready to reveal the deeper shift already happening behind the scenes. And that shift may show you just how close the breakthrough truly is. And now the 9th card is revealing itself. I'm seeing here the 6 of Cups reversed. And this feels like the breakthrough already forming has a lot to do with emotional freedom, a very deep kind of freedom, the kind that begins inside you before it fully appears in the outer world. I'm picking up that what is about to open for you is not just a new opportunity. It is a new relationship with your past, because for a long time, certain memories, certain patterns, or certain emotional imprints may have held more influence over your path than you realized. Not always in obvious ways, sometimes very quietly, through what you expected, through what you tolerated, through what you believed love, safety, or success would feel like. The energy around this card suggests that something is now loosening. You are beginning to outgrow the emotional shape of an older version of yourself. The version of you who kept looking back for understanding, who kept carrying old tenderness without knowing where to place it, who may have still been hoping that the past would somehow explain the present. But I'm getting the feeling that your breakthrough is forming through release, through emotional maturity, through no longer needing to stay tied to what once defined you. And I do feel there is a deeper hope inside you here. A hope that life can finally feel lighter, cleaner, more open. A hope that what comes next will not ask you to repeat what you have already survived. At the same time, there may also be a quiet fear, a fear of fully letting go of what has been familiar, even when it has been painful, because sometimes the past can feel safer than the unknown future. But this card says something in you is ready. Ready to stop circling back. Ready to stop feeding old stories with new energy. Ready to receive from where you are now, not from who you had to be before. This is beautiful, because it shows the breakthrough is not just approaching. It is already forming in your emotional body, already making space, already clearing the room. So let us move now to the final card, because the last message is ready to show what this transformation becomes when it fully opens. And now the final card is here. I'm seeing here the 7 of Cups reversed, and this feels like a beautiful closing energy, because the version of you that emerges from this battle is clearer, calmer, more grounded in your own knowing. I'm picking up that after all this inner pressure, all this emotional unraveling, and all this spiritual testing, you are not becoming more confused. You are becoming more discerning. The energy around this card suggests that the old fog is beginning to lift. The illusion is thinning. The distractions are losing power. The fears that once multiplied in your mind are no longer able to speak with the same authority. And that is a profound transformation. Because the devil energy often works through distortion, through overwhelm, through too many emotional stories at once, through making you question what is real, what is safe, and what is truly meant for you. But this final card shows that you are moving into a version of yourself who can see more clearly than before. You are beginning to recognize what is aligned and what is only draining, what is real and what is only fear, what deserves your energy and what was never meant to keep following you. I'm getting the feeling that this breakthrough changes your identity by simplifying your spirit, not making you smaller, making you truer. You may soon notice that your decisions come with less inner noise. Your heart responds with more honesty. Your path begins to feel less crowded, less tangled, less controlled by old emotional confusion. And this is how you rise from the battle, not by becoming harder, but by becoming clearer. Clearer about your worth, clearer about your direction, clearer about what your soul will no longer carry. So this reading feels like a reminder that the resistance you have been feeling has not been meaningless. It has been revealing. It has been showing you what was ready to fall away so your true self could come forward. Take what resonates here as gentle guidance for your path and let the rest settle in its own time. If this message spoke to you, you can share it in the comments. And if you would like more readings like this, you are very welcome to subscribe. For now, trust what is becoming clearer within you, because something is shifting, and you are already beginning to meet the version of yourself who is ready for what comes next.